Tonight on This Week, as Dallas plans a return to our screens, we tune into the Westminster soap opera that's gripped the nation. As the world's most powerful media mogul, Rupert Murdoch, drops his bid for B-Sky B, have the West Enders of Parliament Square finally found a voice.
The will of Parliament was clear. The will of the public was clear. And now Britain's most powerful media owner has had to bend to that will.
Tabloid critic the Daily Mail's Quentin Letts has been watching this drama unfold.
There's been a right old dogfight between Parliament and Rupert Murdoch, but which one has gone down in flames?
There's nothing like a returning character to spice up a storyline, and Gordon Brown chooses his moment to make a guest appearance.
News International descended from the gutter to the sewers. The tragedy, Mr. Speaker, is that they let the rats out of the sewers.
The Mirror's Kevin Maguire looks at the settling of old scores.
And Bomber Brown was back to flatten a few old enemy targets.
And Westminster may be obsessed with this cliffhanger, but shouldn't we really be watching the dramas unfold in other parts of the world? Channel 4's leading man, Jon Snow, looks further afield.
Is this the year of revulsion? For whilst the British rose up against Murdoch, the Arab world was rising up against their dictator.
Can someone tell me, who did shoot JR? Tuppence. Evening all, welcome to This Week. A simple tale of plain Westminster folk with storylines even a Coronation Street scriptwriter might think twice about. And with the news of the world now no longer available even as fish and chip wrappers, and Rupert Murdoch's takeover of B-Sky B reduced to toast, the plot has taken another jaw-dropping twist. In a development nobody predicted, not even Mystic Meg, Gordon Brown yesterday took time out from his taxpayer-funded retirement to grace us with his presence in the Commons chamber. That's twice in 12 months, folks. I call that value for money for the good folk of Kirkcaldy. And the former great leader didn't disappoint, claiming some things are neither cosy nor comfortable. And he wasn't talking about the This Week sofa. He was, in fact, and with a totally straight face, referring to his long relationship with the Murdoch Empire, which is odd because cosy and comfortable seems an apt way to describe his wife throwing a pyjama party in 2008 for Rupert's wife, Wendy, Rupert's daughter, Elizabeth, oh yes, and Rupert's chief lieutenant, Rebecca Brooks. In fact, there's only one thing that looks more cosy and comfortable than Sarah Brown's girly night in, and that's Rupert Murdoch's astonishing collection of leisure wear tracksuits. So let's pray the Culture Select Committee gets some answers to the biggest mystery of all, which is this. Why on earth has Rupert Murdoch been running around London, closing down newspapers, dressed as Jimmy Savile, but without the cigar? And speaking of those who nobody wants to see working up a sweat, I'm joined by two of Westminster's finest physical specimens. Think of them as the Jane Fonda and Mr. Motivator of late night chat. Which is which? I'll leave you to decide. I speak, of course, of Michael Portillo, and backed by, once again, absolutely no public demand whatsoever, except the three people she has tweeting endlessly on her behalf. Diane Abbott, welcome to you both.
Hello.
Michael, your moment.
Well, there have been so many
Hard
moments.
to choose. Where do you begin?
Well, I'm going to pick one that might seem almost trivial. The Sun on Tuesday had a headline, "You're wrong, Gordon." Now, despite what you've just said about Gordon Brown, with which I largely agree, nonetheless, the fact that the Sun chose to reveal the details of his little boy's illness, I think was pretty disreputable. The Sun said, "You're wrong, Mr. Brown," because they claim there had been no illegality involved. But in that article, there was no hint that there might have been immorality and inhumanity. And I think that is where this debate has got to. I mean, Gordon Brown's speech was completely over the top, talking about the gutter and the sewers and the rats and all of that. But still, the idea that these newspapers fell short of their own very high standards is complete rubbish. I mean, these newspapers did operate on the basis of inhumanity and I think very often immorality. And the only thing that is new is illegality.
But the Sun only had the right to publish that story if the parents had given their full consent and didn't have a gun to their head. Given that that didn't seem to be the case, why would you then stay best mates with a newspaper that does that to you?
Well, there are many versions of this now.
Expediency.
There are many versions of this, aren't there? Because people close to Gordon Brown say that at that point, Rebecca Brooks said to him, "You'll never become Prime Minister this way." He was still Chancellor of the Exchequer at the time. "If you don't understand that, you mustn't bust our scoops." But you know, the very idea that a child's illness is a commercial property is to me repugnant.
That was the point I was making.
Oh, you were very good.
Yeah. Diane, your moment.
Well, I was actually in the chamber for Gordon Brown's speech. I was a few
Well, we
seats-
saw you on the camera.
Yeah, and
Looking up adoringly as you did in the old days.
Donutting.
But I know you're making a mock of it and so on, but to be there, it was an extraordinary occasion. It was only the second time he'd spoken. You knew he was about to plunge a huge knife into Murdoch. And I have to tell you, the pain and the rage were absolutely genuine. It was a genuine parliamentary
Okay,
occasion.
we're going to talk more about that. Well, thank you